Hello guys, and welcome to a new Wargame video today by me, Vulcan. Today I'm playing on Vasterbotten, which is basically the same map as Dual Field from European Escalation, if you guys remember that. Today I'm using an all nations armoured deck. Somebody asked me to play an armoured deck in the last video, so I decided to do so today. I basically have challengers, Abrams and Leopards on this deck, plus Marders and Chaparrals for air cover. Then it's more or less like cheap infantry and ATGM infantry with support ATGM units and also some artillery, which I don't tend to use too much because it's not that accurate and not that powerful. But anyway, I'm just going to speed up the deployment and then I'll talk about exactly what I put down for the beginning of the game. Now, I really liked this game because my teammate, Sega1, was really good, and we talked a lot during the game, and I like it when I can talk to my teammate because it really helps with coordinating what you're going to do. So you can see I basically pointed out where I wanted to go over to the left here near Juliet so that I could take control of these large hills. Or fields, sorry, not hills. There's no hills on this map. That's the beauty of it. That's the reason I also picked this map, because it's a good map to demonstrate an armoured strategy. So here you can see my staple Gazelle cannons and Gazelle AH1s moving in from the spawn. The reason I did this was because I actually forgot to put them in to begin with, because the enemies actually started the game a lot sooner than I had expected. But you can see I've got 2 Leopard 2A4s and 2 M1A1 Abrams, Marder Roland 2, we've got 2 Chaparrals, 4 PVRBVs, Vulcan, or 2 Vulcans, and we've got 2 Vulcans left at base to sit with my CV and my FOB. I've also got a extra command vehicle coming down this road here to go and sit in Juliet once the cavalry arrives. So you can see these Leopards, very cool tanks, very powerful tanks, probably still the most powerful tanks in Wargame after the TATU, which is easily the most powerful tank in the game, purely because those ATGMs just hit so hard, and obviously the AP power of the cannon still matches the Leopard too, although it does cost more, so that kind of makes up for it. If you're wondering why I've got Abrams as well as Leopards, not just Leopards, is because I wanted to test them actually. This was probably one of the first games with this deck, and the differences in armour were what I was keeping an eye on. The Leopard has 19 front armour and the M1A1 Abrams has 17 front armour, so they're a little bit more squishy, and they do actually die a lot quicker against medium ATGMs, so that is something to consider when using armoured deck. I really want to make a full-on German armoured deck. I'll probably do that at some point. But before that, my next video is actually going to be a Canadian deck, because some of you have been asking for that. So you can see here, Storkaden has brung up his T80s into the middle of Gulf. He's got books, and he's got BMP 2Ds, and plenty of infantry stacked around. Unfortunately for Sega 1, his Thunderbolt gets stunned, and he doesn't manage to take out this Book M1 before it shoots him down, along with the other cannon units that were in that forest. But either way, he uses Ravens throughout the entire match, and it's really effective. It basically takes out all of their AA and allows me to mess around with my recon helicopters, and also links AH2 tows. So there's always that, and it's really awesome. I'm so glad that he used those units, because I didn't have any Seed M units on my deck. So you can see here at the moment all my units have clumped up at Juliet. Now that they've actually got there, I've decided to spread them out into the field, ready to push them across towards this middle sector where Sega 1 is having a firefight with Storkaden. So over on the left, in the meantime, my cannons and gazelles have, all my gazelles have managed to get over to Delta unopposed. So I've kind of left them there for now, just in case he tries to move any command vehicle into this area. And you can see that I start to move them slightly over to Delta, just to see if anything's coming, and there's a UAZ. But before I even notice, unfortunately, the Tunguskas that he has covering Echo shoot down both of my cannons with exceptionally accurate shots. So that must have been like a vetted Tunguska. Either way, I mark it just so that we know where it is, and eventually I'll go and destroy that later on in the game. Now we've got Su-24 MPs coming in to attack Sieger 1 in the middle of the town with loads of bombs. Fortunately, because the infantry is in cover, it doesn't actually do too much damage, but his riflemen are doing so well against all the Motorstroki, and because Storkaden it hasn't actually reinforced his own men compared to what Sieger 1's done, he eventually takes control of the town. You can see in the meantime on the left here, my Leopards and M1A1 Abrams have started to move forwards in a nice long line with the Chaparrals behind them, and the Vulcans and the Marder Roland too. And then I've also got these ATGM units back here, but the reason they're not moving is because they've actually, well, they haven't run out of fuel. Actually, yeah, some of them have. So I do get some logistics vehicles in as soon as possible to take care of that. So you can see, as soon as they start rushing up towards the centre sector, I uncover a lot of BMP-2Ds. That's where all the Motorstroki came from. We can just watch him take really, really awesome shots at these BMP-2Ds as he moves forwards. I keep them spread out so they can't be bombed and stunned, and I also keep them spread out so that they can take care of all of the ATGMs that they see. See, as soon I've got them all on attack move, as soon as they get in range of something, they just stop and they fire at it. Makes it very, very effective. Sieger 1 in the meantime with his Apache, he managed to take out these T-80s. So good job, well done there. But with that push more or less finished, I do begin to reverse back towards the road, where ATGMs are coming in from the left side. So you can see all my troop movements are going towards this road here. I thought this would be a good line to judge from, and then what I can do from here is I can push across this field towards Delta. Now I only saw a couple of ATGMs come across at me from this forest, but that doesn't mean that that was all that was there. Now that's what I didn't anticipate before I did this push, and you can see it will cost me shortly. I really underestimated the amount of ATGMs my enemy had, because we'd already taken out a significant portion of their army here with the TATBs and the Books and the Tunguskas and so on. Basically, I wasn't too concerned that they had that many troops left. But what I didn't think about was, obviously there's a teammate in the game, and although he was probably going to be over Alpha, maybe he'd come over here and given a helping hand. But either way, you can see I get my VLRA logistic vehicles up. The reason I use these is because they're incredibly fast, and although they only have 750 supply, they're just very useful for when you need them at short notice. Obviously that's what helicopters are useful for, but I'm not a fan of resupply helicopters. You can see here once again Sieger 1 brings in a Raven, and it does take out another Book, and then he brings it around here and it takes a shot at the Tunguska, which unfortunately misses. So you can see I've spread them all out almost evenly behind this road. That was completely unintentional, but there we go. It looks pretty. Nice curved line of M1A1 Abrams. Then we got the Leopard, another Leopard. Then we got a Chaparral. Then we got a M1A1 Abrams, and finally a Marder Roland 2. See here, unfortunately, one of my fighting Falcons gets shot down. This was the Norwegian version, which comes with 2 1,000 kilogram bombs. You can see I dropped them into this forest because that's where I thought that the UAZ had gone. Unfortunately, it wasn't where it had gone, and it got 0 kills and got itself shot down. So now, with my line of tanks prepared, I begin to press forwards along with the Gazelle AH-1, and I've also got a Rover Pinky further up in this tree line here, just keeping an eye out before I move the rest of the troops forwards. But once again, these are all on attack move. I believe the shortcut for attack move is Q, so the easiest way to do it is just click on your units, click Q, and then click where you want to go. And as soon as they see any units, they will stop and fire at them. So ATGM units like that will be instantly killed. And again, an Igla squad, which was going to shoot down my TOW 2, gets instantly killed by a Leopard 2A1 or 2A4 because it stopped to attack with attack move. But yeah, you can see ATGMs coming in from everywhere. You've got ATGMs on the right side here, you've got ATGMs in the middle, and you've also got ATGMs on the left here once I move further up. Now this was a big issue for me because I didn't anticipate how many ATGMs there was. I couldn't face the armor in 5 different places at once, and you can see as soon as this takes an ATGM in the face, I try and face it towards the left side to catch these ATGMs, but then another comes from the right and hits it directly in the side, and there wasn't much I could do about that. Again here, the ATGM comes in straight from the side at the same time from one in the front, and I just can't deal with that. So I basically do what I can to get out of there as quickly as possible, because all of these ATGMs in all the different tree lines here are really taking out my tanks very quickly. And you can see I did lose a ATGM unit there, which are useless against all this infantry that they're using with ATGMs, so I just got rid of them completely. Then we got the M1A1 Abrams I got destroyed, and the Leopard 2 I lost as well. So quite a lot of points I lost there, alongside this unit here, which I believe is another ATGM unit which got cluster bombed. Now, with that push being sort of successful, I really needed to change where I was going to go with this, because obviously all of those ATGMs were covering all of the positions. If I pushed up in the middle here, I was basically putting my tanks into places where they could get flanked by ATGMs, and that was not the best way to use tanks. So although I managed to save 3 tanks, I really needed to think about what I was going to do. So first of all, my first idea was I needed infantry to take out this infantry. And so I bring in MD Jupiters with the Home Guard. Thanks to the person in the last video who pointed out that's what the translation is. For the Danish cheap troops, they cost 5 points, and they come in an MD Jupiter, which is +1, so they're technically 6 points each. But yeah, they're basically Home Guard, and I am going to use these to take out all of the infantry in this forest. So because my units are cheap, I don't care if the MD Jupiters get sniped by ATGMs, but I will be taking out their expensive ATGM infantry with those units. So here on the left, you can see Seagull 1 is bringing in a Thunderbolt to attack into Delta. I pushed forward my Gazelle AH-1 at the same time, so that he actually has targets to fire at, because I saw that the entire sector was dark. He tries to fly it away, but the book, I believe, just manages to miss, actually. But the Sokol that is here does shoot down my Gazelle, unfortunately. That was helping out. Now Seagull 1 brings in his Raven again, takes out our book straight away once I'd marked it, and then retreats the Raven. At this point you can see Stalker Den has just surrendered, and I begin to move all of my troops from this right side over to the left here, because what I could see from this is that pushing down the middle here with loads of tanks is never going to work, because they have ATGMs here, they have ATGMs here, and they have ATGMs here. So if I push up here, then they're going to get hit from three sides: the front, the left side, and the right side. If I go round and I position my entire force on the left side, then I can push from left to right, and the ATGMs will always be directly in front of me, and they'll always be hitting my front armour. So that way I can press across here, and I won't have to be concerned about having flanking ATGMs, because although they could reactively put ATGMs in all these different hedges around, it's going to take them time, and by the time they do that, it's going to be too late. So me moving all of my units over to the left, I feel, was a good idea. Although if he had spotted it, then he may have done something about it, should he have had recon over on the left side. Now I've just got to say that Seagull 1 did an exceptional job of keeping the entire map recon. You can see he's got his Kiowas on the right side here. He's got this one, which is going to be soon covered by a chaparral, and then we've got this one here. These are both exceptional recon, and you can see it covers the entire right side of the map from Alpha. Now you can see me using these MD Jupiters. I split them all up into separate squads so that I can stutter unload them in the middle of this forest. The idea of that is that basically my MD Jupiters will move up there, then as soon as one gets here I'll unload it, as soon as one gets here I'll unload it, and so on. So I basically cover the entire tree line. Now for all I know, none of them are actually going to get into the tree line, so this was just me hoping that maybe I could soak up some ATGMs with them and possibly kill some at the same time. You can see the occasional MD Jupiter is being sniped by ATGMs, but it's not that much of a big deal. But as soon as my Jupiters get into the forest, you can see I'm stutter unloading them, letting other ones drive straight past, and then unloading them, letting another one drive past, then unloading it, and so on. So I've got basically the entire tree line covered. You can see it gets pretty deadly down here, with fighting on both sides of the road. But I'm taking out his Conquer squads, which are worth 25 points, with my Home Guard worth 5 points. Also taking out his BTR 70s and the Igla squads and the Conquer squads. I had 12 squads of these Home Guard, and I'm managing to take out at least 4 squads of Conquers and a couple of Igla squads, plus the APCs that they came in. Now, I'm not concerned about losing any of these troops, and that's probably the best part about these kinds of pushes. In the meantime, on the right you can see a Tomcat comes in to shoot down a MiG, and unfortunately Seagull 1 loses that. But my Home Guard have just absolutely annihilated these troops. See here, they're firing straight into this forest, and eventually they kill this last Conquer's squad and become elite. And rocket artillery does come in and take out a couple of squads, but fortunately not the elite squad. So I leave them there either way. The Ural that I captured does get killed by a couple of KA 50s, which I think was a bit overkill with those ATGMs. But you can see in the meantime on the left, I've been pushing forwards my Leopards and Abrams into a line formation again that can spread out and push from Delta to Echo. Unfortunately, Seeger 1 loses another aeroplane, Strike Eagle, and Zamsa finally decides to move some tanks into this forest to take care of the rest of my infantry. Also, we've got some VDV moving down from the top side, and with the help of this quad auto cannon, my squad doesn't really stand much of a chance. You can see here, my units are almost in formation, ready to push across. I've brought forward some VLRA logistic vehicles to basically fuel units in that area. I only ever used 4 logistics vehicles throughout the entire game. You can see that these ones are travelling back from the FOB to refuel this Abrams, and in the meantime my old ones, these VLRAs, are moving back to the FOB to go and get refueled. So throughout the entire game that's what I was doing. Unfortunately, another A-10 Thunderbolt goes down here. In some ways I thought that was just basically throwing away points, the amount of stuff we lost in terms of air units, but they were using a lot of AA because of that, and it basically gave us 3 points when I began to attack on land. You can see here I took out a Tunguska already, and then the Leopard finally takes out the second one that's in that place. Then my Leopard 2A4 over here takes out one of the 2 squads of ATGMs that are in this hedge, and as it finds the other one, it takes that out as well. So you can see here I've got my Rover Pinky moving up with the 2 Leopards, so my Leopard 2s have information they need to take out the units, and then they're followed up by the Marder Roland 2s and Vulcans, and also more tanks that I bring in later on. I've also brought over a Gazelle AH-1 just to get some more intel before I move further up, because I am moving towards a highly dense forest. But I did notice these tanks moving back into this tree line here. Now, I wasn't too concerned about them, so as you can see, I'm just attack moving my Leopard 2A4 straight forwards. He's already lost 3 bars of health, but it wasn't too much of a concern, and finding a Ural here, I just decided to shoot that for 20 points. So these T62 M1s have incredibly accurate ATGMs if they stay on target. However, you can see my Leopard 2A4 with a couple of shots takes out one of them. Now unfortunately these KA-50s come in and do kill one of my units, one of my Marder Roland 2s, but get themselves both shot down for 130 points each. That definitely wasn't worth it for him. You see here I take out another T62, and one of my Leopards in the meantime takes out a BTR there for 20 points. So yeah, I've racked up 1,570 points, and Seeger 1's got 2,285 points. We only need 150 points to win from here on, and with the help of this Gazelle, I managed to spot some T-80Us coming down this road. Now they're completely undefended, and as this Lynx AH-7 TOW-2 comes in, HGM smacked it straight in the side, and with that 170 points it wins us the game. So there you go guys, a very, very confidently pulled off armoured push. I feel that I really like it when I do these kinds of games, because I believe armoured decks are one of my strongest points. I really like macroing or microing the Q attack move thing. It's really fun, and I believe it works really well, especially if you play it properly and you attack from the right position. So you can see I changed my position of attack from the middle of the map to the left side of the map so that I could sweep from left to right instead of going straight into the middle of them and taking fire from 3 sides. By attacking from the left side, I was only taking shots from the right side, so only from one direction. And that's really how it worked out in this game, and that's how I got quite good kills to loss ratio. Sieg1 did an excellent job of getting 2,305 kills for only 1,031 losses. I got 1,770 kills for 922 losses, so we both did reasonably well. Unfortunately, because Stalker Den left, Zamsa was left with quite a hard game to finish off for himself. But either way, I was very pleased with this game, and thanks to everyone who played. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you maybe learned something about using armoured decks. Or if a push fails, never push in the same place again, because it will always be defended. That is just probably one of the biggest things to learn from this. Either way, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.